Hola. Bienvenidos a la clase de hoy.
Hello. Welcome to today's class. I'm Valentina, your AI-generated Spanish instructor. I'm here to help you learn to speak and understand Spanish just like a native Spanish speaker. I'm thrilled to have you here today as we dive into the fascinating world of Spanish sentence structure. If you've ever struggled with constructing sentences in Spanish, fear not. I'm here to guide you through the process and make it as simple as possible. But before we get started, I have a very special offer for you. If you are sick and tired of using apps that make you sound like a gringo whenever you speak Spanish, and you want to speak and understand Spanish just like a native speaker, in the description of this video you'll find the link to get free access to learning Spanish like crazy, the original version. And you can get this app absolutely free with a trial subscription to Audible. In Spanish, just like in English, sentences are composed of various elements that work together to convey meaning. These elements include subjects, verbs, objects, adjectives, and adverbs. Understanding each of these components is crucial for constructing grammatically correct and meaningful sentences in Spanish. First, let's talk about subjects. In Spanish, the subject is crucial as it indicates who is performing the action. It can be a person, a thing, or even an idea. Subjects in Spanish typically come before the verb, just like in English. For instance,
Yo bailo. Yo.
is the subject here, meaning I, and it precedes the verb, dance. Remember that the subject and verb must agree in terms of number and person. So, if the subject is plural, the verb must be plural as well. For example,
Ellos bailan.
it's important to note that Spanish subjects can often be omitted when the context is clear. For example, instead of saying,
Yo tengo hambre.
you can simply say,
Tengo hambre.
omitting the subject pronoun. However, it's common to include the subject pronouns for emphasis or clarity. Before moving on, make sure you click that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, and then click the notifications bell. Next up, verbs. Verbs are the action words that bring life to our sentences. In Spanish, verbs change their form depending on the subject performing the action. This is called verb conjugation. To conjugate a verb, you need to match it with the appropriate subject pronoun. For example,
Hablar.
means to speak. When conjugated with the subject pronoun I, it becomes
Hablo. Yo hablo.
Similarly, with the subject pronoun you, it becomes
Hablas. Tú hablas.
It's important to remember that verbs also change depending on the tense, indicating when an action takes place. In Spanish, the most basic tenses are the present, past, and future. For example, in the present tense,
Hablo.
means I speak, while in the past tense,
Hablé.
means I spoke. Now, let's talk about objects. An object is the recipient of the action performed by the subject. In simple terms, it's the person or thing that is directly affected by the verb. In Spanish, we have direct objects and indirect objects, which help us express who or what is receiving the action of the verb. Direct objects are the recipients of the action directly. For example, in the sentence,
Yo como una manzana.
the direct object is an apple, since it is receiving the action of the verb. Indirect objects, on the other hand, indicate to whom or for whom the action is done. For instance, in the sentence,
Yo le doy un regalo a mi amigo.
the indirect object is my friend, since it is the target for the action done. To summarize, the direct object receives the action directly, while the indirect object indicates the recipient of the action. To clarify the recipient, the indirect object is often accompanied by the preposition a. Moving on to adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe or modify nouns, adding more information about them. In Spanish, adjectives typically come after the noun they describe, which is different from the English word order. To use adjectives, think about the characteristics or qualities you want to express about a noun. For example, if you want to say the blue sky, in Spanish, it would be
El cielo azul.
Notice how the adjective comes after the noun, unlike English. When using adjectives, it's important to match their gender and number with the noun they modify. In Spanish, nouns can be masculine or feminine, singular or plural. For example, if you want to describe a feminine noun, like the tall girl, in Spanish, it would be
La chica alta.
The adjective agrees in gender and number with the feminine noun girl. If we were to refer to a masculine subject, it would be
El chico alto.
Lastly, let's discuss adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, providing more information about how, when, or where an action takes place. To use adverbs in Spanish, think about the manner in which an action is performed. For example, if you want to say she speaks quickly, in Spanish, it would be
Ella habla rápidamente.
Here, quickly modifies the verb speaks. In Spanish, many adverbs are formed by adding
Mente.
to the feminine singular form of an adjective. For example, to form the adverb from the adjective
Rápido.
you add
Mente.
to get.
Rápidamente.
Remember, adverbs can also modify adjectives or other adverbs. For instance, if you want to say he is very tall, in Spanish, it would be
Él es muy alto.
Here, very modifies the adjective tall. Now that we've covered the basic elements of sentence structure, let's put it all together. Here's an example sentence in Spanish.
Juan estudia español todos los días en la universidad.
In this sentence,
Juan
is the subject,
estudia
is the verb,
español
is the object,
todos los días.
is the adverb, and
En la universidad.
is an additional prepositional phrase that tells us where one studies. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice constructing sentences in Spanish, the more natural it will become. Try creating your own sentences using the elements we've discussed today. You've taken your first steps towards mastering Spanish sentence structure. Remember to pay attention to the order of the elements, conjugate verbs correctly, and place adjectives and adverbs in the right position. With time and practice, constructing sentences in Spanish will become second nature to you. Before you go, I want to remind you that I have a very special offer for you. If you are sick and tired of using apps that make you sound like a gringo whenever you speak Spanish, and you want to speak and understand Spanish just like a native Spanish speaker, in the description of this video you will find the link to get access to learning Spanish like crazy, the original version. And you can get this app absolutely free with a trial subscription to Audible. So click the link in the description and get your free copy of Learning Spanish like crazy, the original version.
Muy buena suerte. Y recuerda, la práctica hace al maestro. Hasta la próxima.